True. Huh? Why am I can hear myself somewhere. Why? How can I hear myself? Alrighty. Times what?
Time and relativity to your space is different
Exactly.
depending on But that's the
Like,
great thing, it's relative to your space, so, like, as long as you are existing in the same space as what's happening around you, then you're all experiencing it. You and your ship and everything is experiencing it at the same time.
Actually, so what I'll do is I'll share my screen
It's only the people further
on.
away that are aging faster than you.
I'll share my screen on Discord as well, so then you can see what I'm watching,
all right.
and then that way we can have a talking point from there. We can watch this, MT. I need your thing. So this is Tucker Carlson talking about yeah, is this, I guess this is his trailer, so yeah.
On the 70-year-old heart surgeon who leads the country we were just at war with about a week and a half ago. We know we'll be criticized for doing this interview. Why did we do it anyway? Well, we did it because we were just at war with
Are you live
Iran
now?
10 days ago
Yeah.
and maybe again. And
gonna
so
pull you
our
up.
view, which has remained consistent over time, is that American citizens have the constitutional right and the God-given right to all the information they can gather about matters that affect them. If their country is doing something with their money in their name, they have a right, an absolute right to know as much about it as they can. And that would include hearing from the people they're fighting. Now, can you believe everything you hear from the president of Iran? Probably not. But that's not the point. The point is you should be able to decide for yourself whether you believe it or not. And keep in mind that anyone who seeks to deny you that right is not your ally, but your enemy. By the way, we have also put in for the third time in the last several months an interview request with the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, and we hope he accepts that. The interview is limited by a couple of factors. One, it was done by remote through a translator. That's always awkward. For another, I don't speak Persian. And there are all kinds of questions that I didn't ask the president of Iran, particularly questions to which I knew I could not get an honest
Ain't
answer,
no
such as,
love in the
was your
heart
nuclear
of the
program totally
city.
disabled by the bombing campaign by the U.S. government
Ain't
a
no
week and a half ago?
love
There's no
in this
chance he's going to answer
heart.
that question honestly.
Yo,
I
what
didn't
up,
bother
MT
to
man?
ask it.
Thanks
The
for
answer, in fact, from an
stopping in.
American perspective, even from the CIA's perspective, is unknowable. So we dispense with those, and I asked him very simple questions, such as, what is your goal? Do you seek war with the United States? Do you seek war with Israel, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Again, the purpose of this was not to get to the absolute truth. That's impossible in an interview like this. The purpose of the interview was to add to the corpus of knowledge from which Americans can derive their own opinion. Learn everything you can, and then you decide. That's the promise of America. And we hope that this interview does a small part to making that promise real. This interview will be up as soon as we have done editing it, as noted, and that should be in a day or two.
A day or two. So that was released on the 6th of July.
Hmm.
So that was released just then or today? This morning.
This morning, a few hours ago.
Yeah. Him getting an interview with the Iranian president is going to be huge. But like one thing I don't
Did he say the
understand.
president of Iran? Is that what he said?
Yeah, so he's not the person. So not the supreme leader. So there's the supreme leader, and then there's the president of Iran.
Right, but I didn't hear him say Iran. I heard him say Ron. I
Yeah,
was like, what?
Iran.
The president of
Iran.
Ron?
Yeah, Iran.
No ear. No I
Yeah.
though. I just heard RON.
Yeah, because like so you guys pronounce as Iran.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's Iran.
But
And he
even
actually said it
Iran,
right.
like I
I was
didn't hear him
actually
say E.
Yeah, no, he said Iran. Maybe
Yeah,
because you guys
I
are
just
just
heard
so used to
RON.
Iran. But like, I love how he's like, you can't believe anything that he says, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's up to you to decide. But does that mean like you obviously take face value off everybody anyway? So like, you like if Donald Trump's speaking, like you can't believe everything he says, or do you have the presupposition that you believe everything he says?
It's
no.
not really. It's not. It wouldn't be fair if you couldn't hear what he had to say, though.
Yeah, but if but you'd have to take everything at face value, yeah.
No, I never do.
No, but like,
no.
as in, you can read between the lines. But if you're talking to somebody Like there's anyone in general, you're gonna take what they're saying at face value. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, cool, until you do your own fact checks and things like that.
Well, do
Yeah,
you
I guess
know
I do
do
that in the
you
moment.
do you know any compulsive liars in your personal life?
Oh yeah, mate, there's heaps.
Yeah. Do you trust everything that they say anytime they
But
say it?
that's presuming that they're a compulsive liar. So like
Unfortunately, in my life, you're
Right, you still
you're guilty until proven innocent. Everyone is a
Yeah,
liar until
but
proven a truth teller.
well, right, but it's still
There's a difference between a compulsive liar and a liar.
Well, I think the real thing is as you get to talking to somebody, you get to know them, right? So like
yeah.
at the beginning when we're strangers, I don't trust strangers. I don't believe everything strangers say. But as we get to know each other and become closer, I'm going to
well, so
believe you more and more, but that's only because you've told me things more and more that I've checked and have become true or found to be
so
true.
so I call that trust but verify.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you
Yeah.
still gotta you're still taking things at face value at a point.
Yeah, but by then you've already had a proven track record. There's nobody without a track record that doesn't automatically get fact checked.
Hmm. I just saw this world statistics. China has a bigger, what is it, purchasing power compared to the United States.
That's based on a lot of things like population.
But what's this considered? Straight up GDP. Oh, this is just
It's
GDP.
it's based on population and yeah, and debt,
And you guys have a lot of debt.
GDP.
Oh no,
We have a
I'm
lot
here.
and we have less people and we have more.
Oh, I guess I'll go fuck myself.
Hey, morning.
But then you got, what else is there? What else is happening? Israeli channel. Hamas and the Israeli delegations are expected as separate rooms. Oh, that's right. They're doing peace talks in Doha. Actually, I'll just show you something too, Brother David. You were talking about this. We were talking about this the other day. Where is it? There we are.
I still got you both pulled up, but I will be right back, all right?
All good, all good, all good. Yeah, but you know how we were talking about things that the Jews are in?
Yes.
There we are. So every single aspect of the media is Jewish. So every single media you guys use, when it comes to movies, everything is all run. 96% of it is Jewish corporations.
I think it's more than 96%, honestly. In my opinion, I think it's more than 96%.
Yeah. So on that, well, this is just so you got so every single aspect of this is interesting, right? So every single aspect of the COVID agenda is Jewish. The media of the slave trade was Jewish. Disney. So we all know that all the Disney VIPs are all Jewish. And then your gun control lobbyists are all Jewish as well. So yeah, Senator Herbert Koffel, Barbara Boxer. I don't know. You guys, you know more about this than me. Howard, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Metzembam. Howard Metzembam. Hey, Breezy. A lot of characters just to say hello to. Yeah, I know there's a lot. What else is there? Yeah, the Disney the child grooming stuff with Disney, mate. And then they're trying to tell you that the Jews don't run your government.
And the Jews run our country.
Mate,
Americans are ignorant when it
They
comes
are.
to things.
But why?
Well, we've had propaganda fed to us for the last, decade.
Yeah.
A little over a decade.
Uh,
And our critical thinking skills are pretty much non-existent because of our public school systems.
oh yeah, my thing's gonna go. I got Telegram open, so I'm gonna get a heap of pings from Telegram. What's this one?
Says if I take 1 hour to cook a batch of cookies and Cookie Monster has 15 ovens working 24 hours a day every day for 5 years, how long does it take Cookie Monster to make 6 million batches of cookies? 6 million batches of cookies. 6 million batches of cookies. I don't know, that's a good question. Certainly,
6 million batches of cookies.
No, that doesn't sound really correct to me. Wait a second. It takes 1 hour to cook a batch of cookies. And you have 15 ovens, probably in 4 different kitchens, doing 24 hours a day every day for 5 years. How long would it take to get to 6 million? I don't know. It's certainly
Yeah, no, chat's definitely not gonna help me,
The
Breezy.
math doesn't seem to add up there. None of it really adds up. None of it really makes sense. None of it really adds up. I don't know. It just kind of doesn't really make sense. 6 million cookies? 6 million cookies? No, I don't buy it.
So I can't technically talk about the 6 million cookies thing. I guess I might be able to if I talk about cookies. Did you end up watching that 9/11 video that I sent you, brother David?
So I watched 2 of them, but I
Yeah.
didn't get to the other 2.
Yeah. What did you think so far?
I would say that they're spot on. I mean, I've agreed with it in ways for multiple years now, and what the guy says makes sense.
Mm. We're talking about 6 million cookies. Yes, we're talking about 6 million cookies. I can't technically talk about anything else but cookies because it's against the law in my country to talk about the 6 million people. So it's 6 million cookies. And what there? Yeah, 6 million cookies. Yep, I'm not allowed to talk about anything else. I have to just say cookies. The Cookie Monster
You
event.
can't
Hence why the
talk-
cookie. Yeah, it's illegal. I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's telling you something, right? I'm not allowed to talk about I'm not allowed to talk about the event. So, yeah, it's the Cookie Monster event. So I'm just talking about the Cookie Monster.
I didn't realize it was that way when I made that comment about certain countries
Yeah.
anymore.
No, it's like legit. Yeah.
I didn't know it expanded that far.
It is crazy, Breezy. It is. No, like it's legit. Like you can't. It's you're an anti. Oh, this is funny. I saw this video. Every conspiracy, but I can't wait for this interview though with the president of Iran. That'd be crazy. But yeah, so like it's very interesting. Like I didn't realize that they got even back into the slave trade. Was run by them as well, them boys. So the slave trade was run by them boys. The COVID agenda was run by them boys. Your media, Disney, and gun control all run by them boys. And this is why the New York, what's his name? Zohan? The socialist person that New York just voted in. That's why it's such a big deal. It goes against the grain. Where's my Discord again? What did you say, Unk?
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you said something. I just saw your thing pop up.
Nope, not me.
It's
I'll
alright.
have to find the book, but there's I have a book from I got it a few years ago, but it jumps down the conspiracy route, but it talks about how America was actually formed from dim people.
Yeah, no, well, this literally talks about it. Like you got
So
the slave trade was basically run by them boys. So you have documentation of known dealers, owners, supporters, slave trade, or enslavement of the black African citizens in early New York history. Like valuable Negroes for sale. Like, how did I get to be an anti-Semite? What have I done? I told the truth about them boys' involvement in the slave trade. Louis Farrakhan? The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Them Boys, volumes 1, 2, and 3. Link is crazy. Or Ankh is crazy. I'm like, what? But yeah, so them boys. What's this one? Memes. It's all right. We'll go back. What's the latest thing out? Statement of organization. American Party. Ooh, what's this? A new FEC filing reveals the formation of the American Party under Elon Musk's name. Oh wow. What? Is that it? Like, is that legit? Link, lol. What link you talking? What link do you want, Breezy? Is this real? Holy shit! The American Party. No. Oh. Ah, okay. American Party filing statement of organization campaign. Does this mean Federal Election Commission? Does that mean Elon Musk is running for presidency?
He
he
can't. He's
can't.
not an American citizen.
Well, then
He
he's
could run
obviously
on a
he's funding the American Party. He's funding a party.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
he
funding
would
it, but he won't be
yeah,
running.
he would be able to run a party.
Yeah, you
He
can run a
basically-
party, you just can't
Yeah.
apply for the job.
I don't want these links because I look at stuff like this every pizza party. I don't want any of these links because if I look up stuff like this, everything I am will run this. I'm so confused. Pizza party. Yeah, it is a pizza party. No. So he's basically starting his own party.
It's a party.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense, Breezy. Go back to sleep. Is that's just new? Like that's just in, isn't it? Like,
I mean, it would be recent. I don't know how new it is, but after his
yeah, the
fallout with
7th.
LGBT.
Yeah, the 7th. Oh no, the 6th. You guys work on the other date. Yeah, so the 6th. So
Yeah.
today.
Yep, that was this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with Elon calling out Trump for Epstein's list and a bunch of other like policy violations that he made or that Elon thinks that Trump made.
Yeah.
He's been going off about it on Twitter for like the last week now, and so it
Yeah,
kind of makes
I've been
sense that he
seeing that.
it kind of makes sense that he would go off and like, well, I'm gonna go make my own shit then, because that's what he's always done. Anytime that anybody's kicked him out of any like industry or anything like that, he just says, "Fuck it, I'll just go buy my own shit," and then he does. So whatever major politician comes out of that he'll be representing will definitely be on a payroll.
Yeah. So he's trying to introduce a third party, basically, because independents don't really get anywhere.
Right. I mean, there are more than two parties, but yeah, I mean, you would see one with higher financial backing would actually be able to get somewhere and do something. More than
Yeah.
likely, what you'll see is he'll take
He-
an independent candidate that hasn't been able to win, in the last couple of years, and he'll put them on payroll and back them.
So
But
basically, what he did with Trump.
that's just stipulation. Yeah, yeah, he'll do what he did with Trump, but with a nobody or with like somebody lesser,
Yeah,
somebody
because
lesser
like
than.
Elon Musk was never a Republican. He was a Democrat all along.
I mean, he's
And
actually a socialist, but yeah.
yeah, socialist. Yeah. So
But like
like, it,
according to his like political beliefs, he would fall closer under a line of socialist or constitutionalist.
yeah. But he was still a registered Democrat voter too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So then it's
'Cause, I
like
mean,
that's
there is no like registered socialist. There is no registered independent classes. You're either Democrat or Republican in the country.
yeah,
And if
yeah,
you're not like me, then people just call you stupid. So
yeah. I was talking to Swordsman about it. Like I was saying that, like, if you want change in anything, you need to like, you should be voting.
yeah, 100%.
Because if you're just happy going, oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna vote, well then you're never gonna enact any sort of change or any sort of movement if you don't.
Yeah, we actually just talked about this on the radio show last week,
Oh
where
really?
we talked about how voting in this country, like we talked about our opinions on it, and highly debatable whether we actually see or feel like our independent vote matters, instead of just like, does voting actually work in the current system that we have? And David brought up some good points about like the electoral college and things like that. There definitely needs to be some restructuring done, but we also need to, Americans have to be able to utilize the system that's put in place correctly. Like, if you're only going out and voting every 4 years, you're not doing shit. You're not helping contribute to the state of the country, because there are, what'd you say, David, like 13 or 14, something like that, uh other very like important
Yeah, between
uh
between
uh
local and state elections, we have
elections. Yeah,
there's roughly 12 there's
12
roughly
more
12
elections.
right
Yeah,
there's roughly 12 elections between each presidential vote.
right.
Oh really?
And yeah, and well, and we only have it's some like 30% of the population votes for the president, which means that damn near nobody votes for their local shit.
Yeah.
How come?
We have because people think it's worthless. People are
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
because
well, my vote doesn't matter because we get a couple of years where people, you vote for a president and then your election, it doesn't go the way you wanted it to go. So they're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, well, voting doesn't work." And it's like, "Okay, well, you didn't vote for your local elections. You didn't vote for your county elections. You didn't vote for your state elections. All of those elections go into it's our local city and state government, which in turn pick our electoral voters. So if you do if you don't participate in the smaller votes, you won't be heard in the bigger votes.
yeah.
And you
True,
get
true.
the only people that vote in America these days are old people and extremists.
Yeah,
Like the rest of the age groups, we don't, as Americans, we don't care. I shouldn't say we don't care. We don't show that we do care by going out to vote.
yeah.
Hence, we don't care.
You should be voting, Breezy. Is the minimum age 35 to be president?
I thought it was
It's
40
34,
something.
35, something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So John was
Yeah.
right. He mentioned that the minimum age to be president, prime minister, or president is 35. What do you got there? To be fair, I don't look into the government
Do you-
stuff. Probably the best.
would
I don't
you-
vote.
Would you want somebody younger than 35 being president?
Look? I guess, like, You guys have nukes. You guys have one of the largest military in the world.
Is the largest.
Monetarily, maybe. I don't think you have the
Yeah, I was about to say
largest.
we spend more money on, including all 5 branches of the well, yeah, all 5 branches of the military. I mean, I know we have the largest. We have the largest navy. We have the largest artillery. We have the largest air force. We have the second largest air force. And we spend more money on our training than any other country does.
Actually, yeah, no, that's all right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's because you guys are weird, Breezy. You mentioned that it's at 60s or older, all your presidents or your presidents have been. But no, you're right. Yeah, so you guys spend $1 billion. You spent $1 trillion last year on your military.
Well, we definitely spent more than that, but on paper, that's how much we spent.
Yeah, your budget was estimated at basically $1 trillion last year.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
which is actually down from the years previous where we spent upwards of $3.3 trillion on defense budget. So,
Yeah,
but that
but I
was
guess
because we
last
were.
year you had what's his face running was the fucking Joe Biden. You had Sleepy Joe.
Yeah.
But then I
But,
guess yeah.
Well, like
Well,
you got to remember, like the U.S. Patriot system, which is our laser guided and anti-air defense system, which can also lock onto missiles.
yeah.
That was being developed in the last 10 years. So, up until about 3 years ago when it became fully functional. So that's you would see that military budget go down because we were pouring a fuckload of money into that.
Yeah. Joe Biden was not real. He had to be a drone. That's funny. That's funny. That's fucking hilarious.
Just a drone with low battery all the time.
That's it. Low battery. They kept forgetting to charge his battery. Oh,
Right.
God. All right, we're gonna watch this. I want to watch another video. There's the Rothschilds, Jacob Rothschild. My family created Israel. This will be interesting.
Dear Lord Rothschild.
Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you, on behalf of His Majesty's government, the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet.
Why was it that this letter was sent by the Foreign Secretary to your great-uncle Walter?
Spent less than a
It's an
minute
interesting
in the
question
octagon
because
there with a
it was
fucking head kick knockout. Was cold.
primarily a movement from Eastern Europe.
Bro,
But
it's
they
not there
didn't
when he's not good.
clarify who was in charge of that movement. And in addition, it was, after all, in Great Britain. So they felt that the Rothschild family should be the one to whom it was addressed. And Walter was Lord Rothschild, and he was.
Man, I think if I had good hair genetics, I'd have a fucking mullet.
And those really are the background reasons.
So Walter received the Balfour Declaration, and I have a copy here. And I wonder if I could possibly ask you to read it for us.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. I'm going to put on my spectacles to make sure I read it accurately. His Majesty's government view with favour the establishment of Palestine as a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavours to facilitate the achievement of this object, it being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation. Yours, Arthur Balfour.
And here it is, the Balfour Declaration.
Balfour
What do you
Declaration.
feel
We were
when
talking
you-
about this the other
when you
day.
see it here?
I genuinely feel it's one of the most extraordinary moments in the history of the Jewish people. If you think it took 3,000 years to get to this, and then you say, how did this miracle happen? It's the most incredible piece of opportunism. I mean, if you think you had an impoverished would-be scientist, Chaim Weizmann, who somehow gets to England, meets a few people, including members of my family, seduces them. He has such great charm and conviction. He gets to Balfour, and he unbelievably persuades Balfour and Lloyd George, the Prime Minister, and most of the ministers.
The mistake that America did to go join the World War One. Like, fucking bullshit. And Hassan is too left for me, too breezy. Way too left wing for me. I'm more centrist more than anything.
That this idea of the national home for Jews should be allowed to take place. I mean, it's so unlike.
You said you're more you said you're more of a centralist, and I was asking, is that only for American politics, or is that for
No.
Australian politics as well?
All politics.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious. That's all.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
Yeah.
I got to be very careful what I say about Australian politics, but yes, I'm a centrist.
Yeah, no, I get the stipulations of where you're at, but I was just curious if that was like a thing, you know?
No. So like, it's like Australia. Hold on. I'll finish this video. We got another 30 seconds, and then we'll talk.
And then he's, starts to fight a difficult battle with the British cabinet, and this letter goes through 5 drafts, as you know. And in the end, it comes out as a rather compromising letter. I mean, the essential point is there for the Jewish community to fasten on to. You have the first bit, which promises a national home rather than the national home. And then you have the bit that nothing that's to be done should in any way harm the Arab community. But you come back to the big point, which is that this is perhaps the greatest event in Jewish life for thousands of years. And it's a miracle.
So, what we got? Breezy, he lost. Yeah, look, he does. And I love talking about it too, because especially geopolitics, because it even though you got, like, Americans don't, but not a lot of Americans see it, but your politics control the world. Coming from an Australian point of view, who you have in power represents our future for the next time we do an election. Because who's in charge for us is the person that's going to suck up to whoever's your president. And if our views don't align, it just screws everything up. But yeah, like, so we were talking about the Balfour Declaration with Brother David I think it was like a few days ago. And we were saying how, we were saying how if the Jews didn't, so the Rothschilds obviously had a say in it. But if you guys didn't get involved in World War One, like, things could have been so different. But it was the start of basically this Zionist state, which basically controls the world now.
Well, it also it makes you question the Cookie Monster.
It does make you question the Cookie Monster.
Not what happened, but the whole picture.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. And no, so the people in World War One. So America only got involved with World War One, Breezy. So it depends on how deep you want to go. But long story short, the Jews of Poland went to the Brits, and said, "Hey, we can get America into this war if you let us do it." And they're like, "Yeah, please do it." And they brought the Balfour Declaration because the Jews were already well established in America, and obviously the Rothschilds basically own a lot of America, were able to convince the government to go, all right, we'll join the war. And the only stipulation they said, so the Jews said, is that if you join the war, but you got to give us the nation of Palestine. You give Palestine to us, and we'll keep backing you. And that's basically what's been happening ever since. So the last 100 years, so actually, wow, that's crazy to say. So over 100 years now, the Jewish state have been backing America in everything international. And then even talking about the greater Israel, which when they say the river to the sea was originally an Israeli term on how much they wanted to conquer. They wanted to conquer basically majority of Egypt, Jordan, all the way to Cyprus. All was going to be a part of their greater Israel plan, which is what they want. And they also want to knock down the mosque, the Al-Aqsa Mosque. And if they knock down the Al-Aqsa Mosque, that's when they'll build the third temple. And the third temple, and this is the crazy thing, why I don't understand why the Christians of America want to support it. But basically, supporting the building of the third temple basically means it's Armageddon. They're basically trying to bring up on Armageddon.
Yeah.
Because it makes
somebody's trying to call the Bible's bluff.
Yeah, but it makes no sense. So it's like calling the Bible's bluff, but letting so many people die. Like, there's a lot of money that's involved in all this. Like, it's like,
oh yeah,
like, so building the third temple, and like, it's like Palestine itself, like Jerusalem is obviously a very prominent place in all the religions. Christianity, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So like this building of they also had the red heifers. So to build the third temple, they had to get red heifers in. They bought the red heifers from Texas. And they have to be purebred red heifers. So they had no white hair, no nothing. They had to be pure red heifers. They couldn't have been milked, nothing. They paid, I think it was like $500 million per red heifer to bring them to Israel to get ready for the sacrifice. So they have the red heifers. They still haven't done the sacrifice yet. They're waiting for the third temple to be built. And once the third temple is going to be built, the sacrifice of the red heifers, and then that's when the Jews believe that their Messiah is coming down. And like another crazy thing about another reason why I don't understand why the Christianity wants to help the Jews is because they deny Jesus completely. They say Jesus is burning in hell. He was a madman, now he's burning in hell. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, and I wouldn't necessarily say it's Christians. I would say it's rich white people that don't care.
But these rich white people are obviously, well, I guess
they make claims to be Christian.
Claim, yes. But I guess the perfect example of the claim is what's his name? Not Nick Fuentes, the other one. What's the other dude's name?
In modern Jewish history.
What's that other commentator's name you guys have?
Bill Murray.
No, there's Bill Murray. But Bill Murray's another big advocate for the state. Wow. They just pretend it's two parties. It's just one uni party in reality. Wow. That's it. That's very interesting, right? That Elon Musk,
We've
right?
known that, though.
Yeah, no. But like, what's very interesting, though, Elon Musk went to Israel. Like, everyone thought the Zionists brainwashed him. Because he went all of a sudden went crazy about saying how Israel is not committing genocide in Gaza, and now he's done a full 180.
Well, I mean, there when you presented certain facts, you formulate an opinion. True. And then when other facts are presented to you, you're allowed to change that opinion with the new facts that have been presented.
But it's just very interesting because it's very hard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
How the Zionists celebrate July 4th. America first, anyone. That's fucking hilarious.
No! Who owns you?
Yeah, England was like, we're gonna need you to pay higher taxes on these teas, and we told them we're gonna need you to suck our star-spangled ding-dongs.
Yeah.
I absolutely love how this country was founded on religious freedom, sexual freedom, and lower taxes. And if you look at what we have today, especially
I
with the
know.
big beautiful bill just being passed, it just it doesn't make much sense in the founding fathers' sense of things, or at least to me. I should speculate it. To me, it doesn't make much sense.
Oh wow, the speculation is that so in Melbourne just recently, so in my capital city of my state, there was a synagogue that was set on fire. And the speculation is that he was a Jew. It's very interesting. Oh wow. Jewish woman stabbed herself twice, staged an anti-Semitic hate crime in France.
Wonder how much Big Pharma paid her to do that.
Probably a lot of money, to be fair.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of money. What's just in? United States Secretary of Treasurer of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, criticized Elon Musk's launch of a new American party, noting that while Doge platform was popular, Musk himself lacked strong public support. He added that the boards of Musk's company were likely unhappy with the timing and the nature of the political move. Look, it's really interesting, right? They talk about Musk and people how like the man's got enough money that he literally has just I don't give a F money.
Well,
Yeah, pretty
so,
much. He's got fuck you
see,
money all day.
well, see, here's the thing where the way that I think there's going to be a lot of people that back Musk again.
Yeah, 100%.
He's already came out. He's trashed both sides. He's openly mocked Trump, like openly mocked him. And the dude's a
He openly
billionaire.
mocked him yesterday.
Well, I mean, yeah, but he's if Musk could run for president, he would probably win.
Probably.
Because most Americans are central.
Yeah.
And then we just say the whole sliding scale politics thing is stupid. Why we
Yeah.
do it is dumb. But it's some odd like 80% of the population is considered a centralist. And then we vote on about 5 or 6 different major topics. And that's what makes you left or right leaning, which is bullshit. But if you
Here.
if Musk ran, because in reality, there's some things that you might disagree with how he runs his business and whatnot, but I think everybody knows that a billionaire is not going to make people hate him or hate them when they're a billionaire and stay a billionaire because of those people.
Yeah, and I mean, all Tesla did by taking him off of the interim CEO of Tesla was give him more free time to play with his new hobby, which is politics.
Yeah. When did he get a black eye?
Who, Elon?
Yeah.
Yesterday when he had a tussle with Trump.
Little backyard scuffle.
Yeah. Jokes aside, Elon changed the day. Yeah. Like that's a black eye.
Okay, so to be fair, he was probably boxing. He was probably doing a workout and somebody popped him in the face.
Yeah, he does He does spar in different combat sports, so I mean, it would make sense for him for his face to get bruised bruised up every now and then.
Yeah.
But we can just say that it's because he had a tussle with Trump yesterday.
Yeah, he had a tussle with Trump. Oh, what's this one? I gotta love these. These are fucking hilarious. Let's see.
Hi, I'm Jewish, and this is how we have made groundbreaking moves for the Israeli government. This video is a step-by-step guide. Thanks for everything.
First, our team gives millions of dollars to the government in America. We have many team members, and they all got stacks.
Secondly, if the government agent does not accept, we smear them and we finance their opponents. We've got mostly everyone so far. Here's a demonstration of exactly how an encounter should go. We noticed you didn't have the right flag in here. We would like to change that. Usually, this is all it takes to make them switch up, but sometimes they deny it. We have ways of dealing with that.
We always talk about whether the suckers fell for it. We definitely got that guy. Yeah.
That's all it takes, really, for Israel to be great. Thanks for being a bunch of silly, spineless gold diggers. And remember, we were chosen. Bye-bye now.
That's hilarious. Remember, we were chosen. Goodbye now.
Money is the root of all evil.
That's it.
My wife wants to know why Elon's had so much plastic surgery but still looks like that.
Has he had that much plastic surgery though?
I mean, apparently he's had quite a bit done.
So like there was what was it? I was actually you know how we were talking about war, right, as well the other day. And we we're talking about how like 9/11 and the Iraqi war, right? And we're like,
yeah,
like Israel, the whole thing is Israel, right? Have you ever watched the movie War Dogs?
Yes.
Like I watched it again for the first time in ages the other night. That was supposed to be set like maybe 1 or 2 years after after 2003, right? About 2005, 2006. Like literally the whole thing is Israeli propaganda. And like, I don't know whether it's like, because it's like, oh yeah, it's like the guys that are selling the weapons are Israel, they're meant to be Jewish, selling these weapons. Like it just all just like, I guess it was very ironic. We were talking about war and talking about how Israel backs a lot of the war and the weapons and all that. And these arms dealers, like the war dogs, these guys, the kids were Jewish kids selling guns to the US Army to fight a war. Like it was just all like, I don't know. It was like you know how when you do watch something, like everything just clicks.
Yeah. So this goes back to so I think that Americans have been being brainwashed for a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. Who owns our media? Who owns
Well, that's it. Them boys.
Who makes our movies?
Yeah.
If they put it in front of us and we watch it every day, we're not going to see it happening like in real time.
Yeah.
We're just going to be oblivious to it. We're going to be like, "Ah, movie, real life. We don't know the difference." It's just a mockery.
Yeah, true. But yeah, so the Cookie Monster event, there's a video that's coming out in a few days. If I am around, I'm gonna see if I can record it. But that's supposed to be very, very interesting. Where is it? Oh, stop locals. When is it supposed to be? I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be. Pardon me. When is it? When is it? When is it? I think Thursday.
Got a bunch of cool people in it, other streamers, coders, artists, all sorts of people. Make sure you join the Space Mountain Discord. If you end up getting the link, type here in the chat, and I'll send it to you. Otherwise, just check us out on Discord. Join the Space Mountain. Join Space Mountain and
log
let's
in.
go in together. I appreciate you guys.
Continue. All right. So, login fail. What?
I said all that with my mic. Son of a bitch.
It's all right. I heard you. What? I just realized what video I just stopped at. That's fucking hilarious. Did you see that? I'm like, what the hell? I wasn't even looking at it. I'm like on this other screen, and I'm like, I stopped this video perfectly. I'm like, what the hell?
I wasn't even. I just looked over when you said it.
Yeah. See, this is what you call fucking stupid, right? Tucker Carlson talking about obviously the interview 24 hours ago. And this person, I don't know who the hell this person is. Sana Ibrahimi. I don't know. She's a weird one. But I don't know which side of the pond she's on. But like, look at Tucker Carlson playing right into the hands of the Islamic regime propaganda machine. Hope Putin's proud of you. I won't waste a second listening to the moron. I hope you people don't either. We don't need to hear out terrorists who chant death to America every single day. It's like, they're only saying death to America is because you guys back Israel. It's the only reason.
That flies over so many people's heads, though.
Yeah. Like,
the book I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It's by a guy named Donald Jeffries. It's called Crimes and Cover-Ups in the American Politics, 1776 through 1963.
Hidden history. Okay. Oh, so crimes and cover-up in American politics.
You know, obviously you can't everything that people say is not the truth, but it gives you you know, if you do your own research, people can come to their conclusions.
Well, that's it. Hey, Kat, how you doing? But that's interesting because it's like, but that's with everything, right? Like, because like, there's always two sides to the story, and sometimes even more, right? So if there's, and history's only told by the winners. Yeah, we're doing well, man. Doing well. Just talking about American politics because it's always entertaining to talk about other people's politics rather than your own. Ooh, can I get this book in Australia? That's the real question. $50. Really?
No, that is crazy. It's only like $12 here.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get it cheaper. $29, $27. That's a bit better. $27. There we are. Ships from a local warehouse. 432 pages. What they didn't teach you in school about Benjamin Franklin, the Freemasons, John Brown, Abraham Lincoln, and the Spanish-American War, Prohibition, and more. But I'm doing well. That's interesting. I'll keep this one.
I'll see if I can't. Yeah, I'll see if I can get a digital copy and then share it with you.
Yeah, because that'd be a good read. That'd be interesting. Donald Jeffries, best-selling author. What do we got there? So back to X. What else is going on X? Man divorced his wife of 10 years after seeing a video of her jumping on stage to kiss the singer live during a live concert. Damn. Why women deserve less. London 2000. Oh, yeah. Nah. That's right. How are these guys in the military? Like, this is their Air Force cadets. Mate, we got nothing, and then you go to the China marching.
When you're a Dependoopolis?
Yeah, that's it. And then you have this. Like, this is just fucking funny. You go from this to this. Like 15 milli, yeah. Why is my internet going so slow? What is going on? There we are. It's finally loading. What else is going on around the world? Lebanese media. I've never actually seen this military parade. I've only just saw clips of their people. Look, their videographers are amazing. To get the alignment, the shots. Well, this is 5 years ago, though.
Yeah, this is what countries do, though.
Yeah. This is 70 years.
How do you say money doesn't matter? Have a parade and spend millions of dollars.
Yep.
We spent more on this.
That guy's gonna be fired.
Country.
Ready, wait for it. This guy's gonna be fired soon, or if he's not already fired. Is anyone not looking at the right spot?
It happens, though.
Oh.
It happens. He's like, oh fuck.
Oh fuck. No, your country does do this, but just not to this extent.
Oh, our country would throw a fucking tantrum.
Yeah, your country will also throw a tantrum because they're like, oh no, you're spending too much money on the military.
Well, but to be honest, that's the whole point. Like,
that's it.
It's a mental fuckery that people don't understand. Like,
that's it.
I'm not gonna lie. Do you think North or South Korea wants to fuck with China?
Yeah, that's it.
They're like,
fuck no.
Oh, them fuckers just spent equivalent to to $500 million for a parade. That's our entire year's defense budget.
Nikolai who? I don't even know how to pronounce that surname. The president. Who was he? Oh, Romania. Is it Romania? The name's Romanian. But like, that's just insane. Like, if you guys did a parade like this, hey, and then you bring out the planes. Like, if you guys just did this, right? Like, this would be cool. Like, if you guys could pull off something like this.
The only time our pilots get training is when they do flyover for sport events.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that because it's not true, but it's funny.
I know here in Missouri, we fly the B-2 bombers over the Chiefs football game every so often. Really? That's crazy. And then you have this in the UK. Oh. Oh, wait. Oh, God. That's funny. That's funny. Oh, God. But
What the fuck?
I can make a sound with my hands. Can you make a sound with your hands?
another one.
And I can make a sound with my feet. Can you make a sound with your feet?
Welcome back, Breezy. Oh my God.
There's sounds all around. Using
There's a video. Come on and load. I wanted to watch this bit. I want you to know your opinion. Israel will launch second more powerful strike on Iran. Yeah, apparently they've actually launched. They're still fighting. You have a friend from Kuwait? Really?
How long do you think Israel would last if America stopped funding them 100%?
1 week.
Just
Not even.
completely.
1 week.
A
Not
week?
even.
Not even a week?
Not even a week. Not even a week. If America
Just
if
pulled
America
everything,
pulled
Breezy.
out everything, like if America said, all right, no more, right? Everyone left, all the military bases left, like every single military base you guys have, because you guys have a lot of military bases around there.
Oh yeah.
Bases in Middle East map. So like, there we are. So your military bases. If you guys, well, you should tell your friend to come and watch. So if you guys pull out all your military bases, so that's all your military bases, right? If you guys pulled out every single one in the Middle East, Israel will last not even a week. Right? That's cool. Israel won't last a week. And the reason why, right? Because you got the Houthis, Hamas, right? Hezbollah, right? All these militant groups with the quotation marks that America loves calling them, right?
Right.
All these militant groups will be like, all right, cool, let's move in, right? Jordan won't stop them, right? The president of Syria, so the Syrian president is, Where are we? This guy, right? This guy here. What's his name? Gabal Ahmed al-Shara, right? This guy here, right? What's really interesting about this man here, right? He was former Taliban, right? He was trained by the CIA, right? Worked for the Taliban, and then during the Iraq War, and then became so he worked in the Syrian military, right? He says he's joining. Oh, that's cool, right? But this man here, right, then he started working for the Israeli intelligence group 8300. Pretty sure it's the 8300. No, what is it? The Israel intelligence agencies. 8200. All right, I got my numbers wrong. So you got the 8200. Unit 8200, which is basically your NSA. So he signed on with the NSA. And then, because he was backed by Israel, they put him into power into Syria, right? And so no one in Syria likes this man. And all these other countries, so we look at the Middle East. So all these countries, what's really interesting about all these countries, right? You got Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, right? And you got Saudi, Oman, Yemen, United Arab Emirates, Jordan, Israel, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Turkey. Everyone here with the Abrahamic Accords only deal with Israel because one, either they're collecting they're getting money from the USA, or two, if they don't, they're not going to make any money from the USA. Right? And Israel is very small. During the 12-day war, which is what they're calling it now, right? In Jerusalem, so the Tel Aviv looks like Gaza. Like, have you seen photos and images and videos of Tel Aviv? Like, it looks like Gaza now. And Haifa, so during the 12-day war, they hit, which I don't think it's a 12-day war. We're in World War III. Like, doesn't matter what you think about it, we're in World War III. But Haifa, Tel Aviv, and Hebron, which is down here, and Beersheba, all got hit really, really hard. Clash. What clash? Right? So then Haifa was very important because that's where all their ports are. Tel Aviv, obviously Tel Aviv. They didn't touch Jerusalem, right? And then they got Beersheba. And then what's even more interesting, right? Cyprus. Israel is the Israelis are just about to start trying to purchase the ports in Cyprus because Haifa's been blown up and all the ports in Haifa aren't really in operation at the moment. And a lot of the Israeli, because they couldn't fly out of the country. It's your amigo. How you doing, Clash? Because they couldn't fly out of their country, they started moving into Cyprus, which I have a friend in Cyprus. If they manage to come on, it'd be really, really good to talk about it. But they're trying to buy one of the ports here in Cyprus because all the Israeli guys are moving into Cyprus, and they're trying to start buying property in Cyprus so they can take over. Because they don't want to lose their foothold in Israel. So they're trying to move everything up to Cyprus. But going back to why I think it's going to not last, like if America pulled out completely, Egypt, the population of Egypt don't want Israel. The government only deals with them because of America. Jordan don't want Israel. They only deal with it because Israel basically owns their parliament. So you obviously got Ahmed al-Shara, he's basically backed by Israel, being the president of Syria. And then you have the Jordan president. If I can spell. So King Abdullah. So King Abdullah. He's basically so if we back out, then that bad for the American sense because everything is US. Yeah, 100%. Everything's backed by the Den boys. But yeah, so Abdullah, born in Palestine, right? Palestine Hospital. And they say Palestine doesn't exist. This man was born in Palestine. But yeah, royal military. So he served in England. So this man, so Abdullah II, like he went to England, served the military in England, then eventually joined the Jordan Air Force. But all because of no one likes Saddam Hussein, because Saddam Hussein was in the same sort of alignment with Iran, right? None of them wanted Israel there, right? And so you had the Gulf War, Rich, which was backed by like Desert Storm, Operation Desert Shield, right? Where all these countries come in and going, yep, no, we need to take control of Israel. But like take control of it. Abdullah commanded the Israeli military officials to hand over the message to Gaddafi. So when Gaddafi was another big problem because when he died, the coup that killed him, because he wanted the same thing. He didn't want Israel, and they gave up his the nuclear because they also were trying to get nuclear stuff as well. Syrian military. What's going on here? Syrian Minister of Emergency and Disaster Management described the wildfires. Okay, countryside of extreme tragic. Estimated 10,000 hectares. Okay, there's just a fire in Jordan. So you have all these guys that don't want Israel there, and then the Abrahamic Accords. So what was really interesting, right? Saudi Arabia was about to sign the Abrahamic Accords, and then Gaza happened, right? The 7th of October happened, and all your Jewish Zionists will say it all started on October 7th. They shouldn't have come in. They shouldn't kill their kids. But when you lock a people in a landmass this big of 2 million people and say you're not allowed to leave this, you can't do anything. You can't enter Egypt. You can't enter Israel. You can't go to Jordan because you're too far away anyway, right? You can't move into the West Bank. You can't go into Jerusalem, right? What are they going to do? There's 2 million people there. They're going to just obviously revolt. If you lock up people, they can cut their water, cut their electricity and gas. You're going to let them starve the entire time, right? What else have they got to do? There's not much else they can do. So they just decided to be like, oh yeah, cool. We're gonna attack, and they wonder why they always get attacked. It's because you're locking people up in their land, kicking them out of their homes, and what else is gonna happen? Like, it's just stupid how they think nothing's gonna happen. And then you got Lebanon up here, where the Houthis are. All this here from Hemron, all this section here, the lower Lebanon. Israel has been bombing them ever since the Iran stopped bombing Israel, because they've been trying to take out when they say, oh, the war's stopped, there's no more fighting, it's a load of crap. I've been getting notifications every day that Lebanon's being attacked. They've had a drone strike in Lebanon just recently, like multiple drone strikes in Lebanon just recently, of them trying to take out alleged people that were apparently trying to do harm against Israel. And then, like, I can't wait for this interview. This interview will be crazy.
When does it say when it's supposed to come out, or is it
2
literally
days? So not tomorrow. Well, I guess it depends. So 24 hours ago, in 2 days. So maybe another 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours, hopefully. I really, really want to watch this interview. Like, the interview will be very, very interesting. Because, like, what
I'd be-
Israeli media and the American media didn't tell you is that Israel got destroyed. Like Israel got destroyed. Like I have footage here of like bombs going off like crazy. So like this was central Israel at one point. These are all alleged zones that they were like alleging that missiles were coming through. So basically, from the 24th of June, Trump declares ceasefire. Everyone says, so apparently it was supposed to start at 12 a.m. Eastern. Everyone says it was going to start at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Israel, his message. Did you see his text message? Like his text message was stupid. Like when he posted on Truth Social about the ceasefire. Like none of it made any sense. I even put it into ChatGPT, Gronk, and Gemini, and they all come out with a different seize time. Like the message made no sense or whatsoever. But Iranian FM vaguely implies the ceasefire was in effect without saying it explicitly. After a short break of strikes, Iran strikes Israel. Then Israel sources says at 11 p.m. there were going to be like ceasefires are supposed to stop. But then Netanyahu vaguely says that ceasefires will start at 12 a.m. At 11 p.m. Iran strikes stop, and every news says that Iran and Israel have both declared ceasefire in effect. 2 minutes later, Iran launches more missiles, and they've been pounding Israel for almost an hour straight. So an hour after the ceasefire was supposed to happen, they were pounding them like crazy. This is the speed of there we are. This is one of the footage of one of the missiles that hit Beersheba, so the south of Israel. If my internet will want to work. I don't know what's going on. Where are we? Oh, what's going on? We'll come back to that. Well, because I got like a billion bloody tabs open. You trying to go? Get rid of that. Let's just close some tabs. I might be running too much. And my computer's like, no, don't do me. But how you doing, Clash? Breezy said you are from, where did you say you? Kuwait. Are you in Kuwait right now? Now, where are we going? We're going to go. This work? What's going on here? Oh, that's right. So this is playing. So maybe that's why. There we are. So if I go here. Refresh this. I should get verified on X. Where are we? Yeah. Is this going to play? No. So even Israelis trying to block all the stuff. But like, this is Israel. Like, look at it. Like it's absolute crazy. And how they said nothing happened. Like there was no hits. We're all safe. It's all good. Is it this one? So I had a footage of a missile hitting. Like the missiles were so close. Like the first day of it all happened, there was so much footage coming out of Israel, and then Israel put a ban on everything. Said, "Oh yeah, you're not allowed to post anything on social media." So, and then if you do post stuff on social media, we're going to arrest you. You were arrested if you'd left the country. You weren't allowed to leave the country at all. But that's it. Charlie Kirk, that I was talking about being a propagandist for the Israeli media. But what I found interesting is that like US-led regime change removing Iranian mullahs. Do you support it? Yes or no? 300,000 votes said no, which is crazy. Like it's like even his following is saying no, they don't support it. Like, and then them saying that they bombed for Fordo, but like that's the footage of Fordo. It doesn't look like anything happened at Fordo. Like, they're like, oh no, bunker missiles. But this guy's probably the most base. Thomas Massey. He's probably the most base politician I've heard from you guys. And talking about APAC. Have you seen this video?
I haven't seen it, but I heard about it.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
yo, I
these-
appreciate the talks this morning. I got to bow out, but I didn't want to just disappear. But I
No worries,
appreciate
man.
the stimulating conversation this morning. Probably bring up some more of this on the radio show throughout the week. So
Definitely. All right, easy. I'll talk to you later, man.
yeah, hey, hit me up if you have any availability for this week to come on the show and do some highly debatable with us.
Yeah, man. No worries. Easy. Just give me
Cool,
send me a
just DM me.
DM on the times you have, and I'll
Yeah.
tell you yes or no.
Cool, sounds good.
No worries, man.
Love you guys.
Catch ya.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Hey, Dark Ninja, how you doing, man? Hope you're doing well.
What he promised us was we would put America first. And I think there are still voices in this administration. You've still got J.D. Vance. You've still got Tulsi Gabbard. You still, RFK Jr., you still got calmer heads that could prevail.
They were not persuasive in this case, clearly.
Well, somebody was persuasive. AIPAC is very persuasive. For instance, the Israeli lobby in Congress. If you look at my colleagues' feeds now, they all look the same. They're all tweeting the same message that we've got to support Israel and we've got to do this. What he promised us was we would put America first. And I think there are still voices in this administration. You've still got J.D. Vance. You've still got Tulsi Gabbard. You still
like 5 months. That's crazy, Doc. Where are we? Oh, this is the Epstein stuff, right? Like when there's like Trump, this is the reason why Trump's not on. They haven't released the Epstein files.
Oh, I'm sure it's more than just him.
Oh, look, 100%. Like 100%. But like, there's so many. Like,
Man, it would be the majority of our government. It would be pretty much all of Hollywood.
yeah. Oh, 100% all of Hollywood.
All of Disney. Well, Disney, all the all the media.
Yeah. Baby's doing well, Doc. Baby's doing well. But yes, basically exactly what Cyrus said. Baby's doing really, really well. And Diddy. Obama as well on the list. Where are we? But like, this is all footage. All this footage of the fight. It's like, really? Yemen's. See, but Yemen, so this is what's really interesting, right? The parliament might say one thing, but the military. So the way that a lot of military, like a lot of rulers work in the Middle East, right? It's all and that's why there's a lot of coups in the Middle East, because they work off popularity over there, and if they don't like you, they'll just kick you out. Like, pretty straightforward. Like, if they don't like you, there'll be a coup. A lot of people will die, and will just kick you out. And so, this is what is really interesting. If the US go, all right, we're taking everything. Oh, is that you, Nay? Why did you change your name? That's why I had you tabbed up, but then it never found your channel again. I'm like, that would make sense. Yeah, so if Israel pull out, right? Israel will be gone. So like, if you look at the borders of Israel right now, there's a lot of people that are a lot of civilian as well, which is the crazy thing, right? There's a lot of civilians, but like the Strait of Hormuz that these guys are talking about, this lovely strait here, right? That they wanted to close. Iran wanted to close off. So Iran is in control of basically this whole strait. The dark ones. But so if this strait gets closed, we're talking about it. And you're saying how America would survive, right? But the rest of the world won't.
Right.
I reckon that even if you guys might survive, but it'll hurt your wallets a lot quicker.
Oh, for sure. Oh yeah, it would definitely hurt. We would our economy would change, but logistically we would recover. I mean, logistically we would recover quickly. We just want like the cost associated with it.
But like even then, I don't think the cost would be that. I don't think that your economy would survive at all, though.
We would boom, but we would boom out of it would be more of a impoverished boom. So so all the stuff, so everything that we outsource because Americans want more money and it's cheaper for us to outsource it.
Yeah.
Right? So Americans end up going into jobs that tend not to higher demanding but less physical. So higher education but less physical. We would be forced to revert and go back to jobs we don't want to do for pay we don't want.
Yeah.
In our which it would boost our economy, but the boost wouldn't. We would have fallen so far back in that couple weeks that our logistics took to turn around that people would be trying to recover. Like it wouldn't put them in a better position. We would be booming and just be poor.
You'd be booming, but then just poor.
Like so, like we as citizens would be poor, but our economy and the people that make money and the people that need money would be booming.
But isn't that's a bad thing, isn't it then?
For us it would be terrible. You would just be feeding feeding the billionaires of the country and their whatever Elon Musk believes in. Like it would literally launch him it would launch billionaires into king-like status. And we would all be piss poor.
You all would be piss poor.
Yeah.
So we got there. So
so all of the
yeah. No, I was just saying. So this is according to Gronk, right? Your oil prices will spike. Your dependencies, you'll be less reliant on the strait. You're obviously less reliant on oil from the strait. But yeah, so just what Nay said. She said that everyone's already piss poor and struggle to find a job as it is. like it would hurt the moral, like the power of a country, I think, is based on the people, right? If the people is happy, and this is why I think Iran's very powerful, because their people are supporting the government, right? The more you support you have for a government, the more powerful they're going to feel. Do you agree?
I do.
So then it would be a strategic pain in the ass, right? If the strait closed, people will grow. What's the word? I lost my train of thought. Hey Yogi, hope you're doing well. I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? So the people will grow, like I guess, angry, aggravated against their own government. They won't trust their government because especially at the moment, Trump promised that everything would be really, really good.
Well, so and that's something that a lot of these statistics don't take into account, and that's so America has a very, very large oil reserve. We just don't access it. Our government says, "Hey, we don't want to fuck up our environment. We don't want to do this. We don't want to do that. We have too many people bickering about things, so it's easier and cheaper for us to go to outside sources and to grab those resources and bring them back."
Yeah.
If we stopped our oil dependency from the Middle East, we would have our only choice would be to produce more oil.
Yeah.
Which would bring our oil economy would come back booming just like it was, 30, 40, 50 years ago. The people that can't find jobs now would absolutely have jobs.
Yeah.
We would stop importing lumber, and we would be planting quicker and harvesting more. So that those would be more jobs. We would stop relying on imported food, which means that we have to grow our own farms. It's all a trade-off. It's not that we can't do it. It's that people didn't want to go work. They didn't want to go work a farm for $7 an hour.
Yeah.
Well, when push comes to shove, you're going to go work that fucking farm for $7 an hour.
Yeah.
Especially if they say, "Hey, we have 40,000 jobs that just opened up." You're going to be like, "Oh, bet. We're going to go." If it's oil, cars, lumber, agriculture, it doesn't really matter what it is. We import all of that.
Yeah.
Those jobs would come back to America. And so we would either, one, have to lower everything that we pay for, or pay people just shit money. Like we could say the billionaires would do the right thing and make less money, but that's not going to happen. So
yeah,
those jobs would come back. The economy itself would boost because of all the jobs and all the people working, but the pay that those people would be getting would be shit.
Yeah.
Just because there wouldn't be like the billionaires own the companies now, but you would have to have people that have startup businesses and not multi-million-dollar corporations that, they can't pay people $30 an hour to go cut down a tree or $30 an hour to go work a farm. So it would be, it would be a struggle bus for the workers, but we would have more work until our personal economy started to boost back up, and that would take 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
Other countries, like when I say the world would get fucked, if we stopped giving our money to people, they wouldn't be able to trade with other countries.
Yeah.
And those countries have to trade because, 99% of their income, or of their GDP, comes from soybeans.
Yeah.
Obviously, if we're not buying soybeans, then that country ceases to exist. Like, their economy would just tank. And if we're not giving money to them, then they can't get trade routes to sell their soybeans somewhere else. And that
Yeah.
someone else wouldn't have money from the U.S. because we're not buying their shit. Eventually they would recover, but their economies would fail. But that's what happens when you own. We handle, like, what is it, 40% of the world's logistics for imports and exports.
Yeah.
Like, we control it in one way or another. That's crippling to anybody.
73,000. Is this right? Nay just said you need a minimum of 73,000 a year just to barely survive. Most Americans barely make 30,000.
See, and that all depends. My monthly bills are $1,800 a month. I only need $25,000 a year
To cover your bills.
to cover my bills. And I own my home.
Okay, so Nay's a licensed life insurance agent. So I guess you'd speak to a lot of different people. So I guess the average.
Yeah. If you if you take out the top 5% of income earners in
Yeah.
America and rerun those stats, the average income is less than 50 grand. Significantly less than 50.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, again, take out California. California alone would drop those statistics by like 20%.
We got the survival, define basic needs, housing, food, transport, healthcare, taxes. What does, there we are. So according to the minimum income, single adult, no children. So a single adult in Mississippi is 33,000. West Virginia, 33,000. What state do you live in, Nay? That's the real question.
I'm in
Hawaii,
Kansas.
50,000. Not you, Nay.
Oh.
Arizona. Arizona. So in Arizona, so according to this estimate is $40,000 annually. So I guess that obviously increases if there's two people. You need 80,000. I guess with 73 sounds all right if it's two people. And then I guess if you have a child as well, that'll increase it. That's interesting.
Yeah, the median, I think if you look it up, I think it'll say the median income for a family is like 55 or 58,000. It might be into the 60s since
Let's have a look.
COVID, but
Yeah, since COVID. Yeah, probably. 2003, 80,000.
oof. So that's a big fucking jump.
Yeah, 4-person household, 125. 7 or more people, 100,000. I love it. Asian households, 112. White, non-Hispanic, 81,000. Hispanic, 62,000. Black households, 56,000. That's interesting. But then it's like the big what is it? The big bill? What is it called?
The big beautiful bill.
The big beautiful bill, the BBBs.
I need to
beautiful
actually I need to read that stupid fucker, but it's like I think it's 984 pages long.
What do you want to know? I've been doing my research.
I just need to go through and actually read it. Like I've read little snippets here and there.
I'm a single mum of
For
3.
argue-
You're Hispanic. Okay, so that would make sense then. 73 for you would be, I guess, what you would need because obviously you got the kids. But like the big beautiful bill, so like there's a lot in it, but basically what I can gather from it, and this is my limited knowledge. I'm not going to say I've read every single page of the big beautiful bill. But basically, if you make more than $35,000 a year, but less than $150,000 a year, you're paying less tax. If you make 150,000 to 200,000, you're going to be paying more tax. If you make more than $200,000, you're paying less tax. And the people are between like 0 and 35,000, and if they're claiming benefits, so using your food stamps, which I forgot what the name's called, SAP, is it? Your SNAP, your food stamps, and receiving benefits. Depending if it's a Democrat or Republican, it's in office. So what they're basically done is they need to, before you just needed to do the paperwork once. You know, you apparently you guys do paperwork every year to say, oh yeah, this is how much money I make, blah blah blah, give me my stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. So SNAP now, they're not removing SNAP, but they want people that have the low benefits to report twice now. So every 6 months, people that are on benefits need to report twice.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Well, it depends on how they define it. So the problem is, so Nay's saying that SNAP and healthcare. So this is what I mean. So depending on where you get your news from, she's saying that SNAP and healthcare is being taken away from Americans with the big beautiful bill.
That is the our news state. If you watch our actual news, 99% of them are anti-Trump.
Yeah.
Well, I won't say 99%. 99% of them are extreme. You get Fox News, which throws the extreme of whatever, and you get whatever on the left you want to. It'll throw it. It's extreme.
Yeah.
Nobody reports on this shit.
Yeah.
And that's like no one, like even the people that signed that bill didn't read all 984 pages or 970, whatever. They paid some fucking intern to read 20 pages of it, give them a breakdown bulletin of what was in it, and then they compiled with all the other interns and said, hey, this is what it is.
Yeah.
And then our news was like, okay, we're going to take it and say Americans are getting stuff taken from them. Healthcare is going to get affect, all this other shit. And they just go with it. Most Americans will not read any further into it. They'll look at that bill and be like, oh shit, it's almost 1,000 pages, and just nope the fuck out. They just won't care. And that's
so healthcare is not being broadly taken away from Americans, but the recent legislations, particularly the One Big Beautiful Build Act threatens to reduce the access for over up to 17 million people over the next decade through Medicaid, through cuts through Medicaid, ACA substitutes, and CHIP in Arizona. So this is obviously talking about Arizona because name mentioned Arizona. This could impact 2 million Medicaid recipients, especially Native Americans, and the strain to rural healthcare facilities. While the Supreme Court preserves the ACA preventative care and the fraud crackdowns continue, the loss of subsidies and stricter enrollment rules could increase the cost of uninsured rates. The full impact remains uncertain, depending on states' responses and future policy adjustments. So, what's the copay at the moment? Do you have copay for a GP?
So everybody's different,
Yeah.
but yes, I believe even if you're on full government healthcare, you still have it's some sort of copay. It may be $5, but it's still
Yeah. So what's really interesting, you guys have insurance for copay. I don't have insurance and I still have to have copay. So in Australia, when you guys talk, you said how our what's the word? Our medical system is really good. Like years ago, we could brag about how good our medical system was, right? Our healthcare system was amazing. With bulk billing, government supplying, being able to support most of that. For me to go see my doctor now, it cost me $80 for a 10-minute appointment. Yeah, so it's exactly the same in Australia. In Australia, we have to pay to see. Also, our optometrist visit is free still. So we're allowed one visit every year to the optometrist. But we have to pay for dental fully unless you have insurance. And if you have insurance, well, then obviously it depends on the insurance you have. But for optometry, but kids are free. So anyone under the age of 18 can see a optometrist, a dentist for up to, I think it's like $500 Australian. So about $300 US is covered by the government. Anything over that, we have to pay out of pocket. But the government pays for dental, optometry, but we still have to pay for glasses and all that sort of stuff. So in America, it's 21. So yeah, in Australia, it's only 18. So 18, you're considered an adult, but under 18, you're still a child. So all that is free to go see a dentist, to go see any of that sort of stuff.
All of that's income based for us.
Yeah.
But did you read or did you hear about the healthcare fraud that Americans found out about a couple days ago?
I did hear about it, but just elaborate.
So it was 300 over 300 people charged in $14.6 billion healthcare fraud scheme.
That's crazy.
Part of the reason why we don't want government involved in our healthcare is because crap like that.
Yeah.
Like it was literally the Medicare system was frauded $14.6 billion because some yahoos that have never stepped foot in this country bought American companies that had doctors working for them and then just essentially made them into street level drug dealers.
Oh wow.
And Medicare, the way that Medicare approves things on the large scale side is they approve everything and then they go through and justify that spending, which is dumb. Like
that is very dumb.
Like one of the companies that were caught had put in an order for 1 billion catheters. There's
1 billion.
1 billion with a B, and it was approved by Medicare. We don't utilize 1 billion catheters in multiple years. There's no company that we sourced catheters from that could provide us with that. Yet our medical system approved of it and then caught it, multiple, however, sometime in the last 2 years is when it was caught.
So, nay, they're not trying to remove Snap. Snap's not going anywhere. So you guys, they will still give you the $9 a day, which I think Snap equals to per person. Snap's not going anywhere. What they're trying to do is those porch bums that sit on the porch and only report once a year now have to report twice a year to keep their benefits. So if you on Snap currently, as long as you still are on, like, there's like obviously reasons why you're on Snap, that won't change. You just have to report twice a year now. So they're just making it harder so people don't abuse the system. Because if people abuse the system, like, at the end of the day is where they're going to get this money from, right? If, like, I'm all for public government paying for shit. Like, I'm Australian. I haven't seen a bloody doctor in so long because it cost me 3 hours of wage to go see a doctor. I don't go see a doctor. So I'm all for the government paying to see for me to go see a doctor. But what I can read, they're not removing it, but yeah, reporting it 2 times a year. But that's what I mean. So it's been reporting 2 times a year for a few years. That's not, yeah, but that's what I mean. So they're just enforcing it more across the board, is what I can gather. They're not removing Snap. Snap's not getting removed. So, like, in the big beautiful bill, beautiful bill, is Snap going? So in the bill, where are we? Let's let this lovely. So it's not being eliminated. So Snap is not going, but they're making changes for it, for how you access Snap. And that's what they're trying to say. So the media is saying it's big, or that's the only word I'm adding to it. Yeah, it is. It's called the Big Beautiful Bill, MT. So they're cutting it. So the Snap funding is cut by 186 billion, Axios to 295 billion, Commonwealth Fund over a decade. Estimates vary based on specific provisions. States require to cover. So what they're also trying to do is getting the states to cover. If you have internet, regardless of you being of your paying for provided school districts and other means, you'll automatically be denied. So that's interesting. So 5% of Snap benefit costs starting in 2028. So states are required to cover 5%, and currently they don't cover anything. And then 75% of administrating costs, up from 50%. So states with payment errors rates above 6% may face higher contributions of 15 to 25%, though Alaska and Hawaii are exempt. These shifts could force states like Arizona to either find additional funds. So, example, 212 million in Pennsylvania by 2028 for compensation or reduced benefit enrollment, potentially leading to some states to opt out of Snap entirely. So it's up to the states to opt out of Snap. So Snap's not going, but if the states don't want to, basically the government's saying we can't afford it, we're not going to fund it. We are going to, we're not going to fund it. We're just going to stay away from it. We'll keep it. We obviously want to support, but the states need to have more involvement in it. And like, I can understand that's going to be a struggle for the poorer states, the poorer states, but I don't think overall it's as bad as what the media is trying to portray it as. But it says here 2.2 to 5 million people could lose Snap, including vulnerable groups whose exemptions have been removed. So basically, they also want you to make sure that you're working 20 hours a week to maintain eligibility. But obviously, I'm assuming that there'll be things in place to cover that as well. So if you can't work, and that's the thing. So if you're not working and there's a reason why you can't work, you fall under disability. And then so it'll be a whole different pay scheme as well. to my understanding. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but to my understanding is if you can't work because obviously you can't, there's something actually stopping you from working, well then you don't have then those benefits won't be removed from you. But they just want you now. You need to work 80 hours a month, so 20 hours a week, so part-time. If you're not working part-time, you're not eligible for SNAP. Which basically means if you're working part-time, you're obviously paying for your SNAP through your taxes. So where are we? What else is there? Immigrant ability. They will make it extremely difficult to get this ability. But they so just so you understand where I'm coming from, I'm very centered. I'm not left or right or anything like that. And I'm also in Australia. So this is just my opinion. I don't think that assuming they're going to do something and them doing something is very, very different. Like you can assume they're going to make things difficult, but I don't think that they want to make things difficult for Americans. I think they just want more Americans to stop abusing the system. If more Americans to stop abusing the system, more Americans that do deserve it will be able to receive it. But while there's porch bums that get paid more through benefits sitting on their ass at home, the government's less likely to accept that. What were you going to say?
I was gonna say I agree with it. There's too many people that there is abuse in the system.
There is, yeah, 100%.
People say it's too much, or if people say it's too much, that's an opinion. But just because you're on disability doesn't mean you can't work.
Yeah.
SNAP, the SNAP is a food assistance program, not a let me cover your monthly food expense.
Yeah.
Like it is an assistance program. Disability is meant to assist in ways. They are not programs designed to create a lifestyle that you have to follow. And there's too many people that are, and we have families that admit it. They're like, oh no, well, you can't go get they have kids. You can't go get a job because I'll lose my food benefits. Or I'll lose my housing, or I'll lose my housing benefits. And then people want to talk, well, generational poverty. Stop telling your kids not to go get a damn job because you're going to lose your food benefits. There's all sorts of issues in our system that has to be addressed, and that was just a minute one. We have the waste in our government needs to get fixed first.
They say if you can work, you're not disabled, and you'll be denied. I know because I've been trying to deny for 2 years.
Well, no, that's not true. You can get partial disability, and that disability you can't earn more than a certain amount, or you lose your disability.
So, but then Nate's saying that if she can work, you're not disabled, and you'd be denied. I know because I've been trying to deny it for 2 years.
Right.
Is that an issue with the system?
Well, no, that's you can be disabled and you can work.
Yeah.
The amount of income that you get from not disability cannot exceed a certain amount of money. Now, if you're trying to apply for disability, the people, and this is a failure of the system. This is a failure of implementations of the system. When you are trying to get disability, people will tell you, don't work, because if you're not working, it's easier to get disability.
Yeah.
If you are working, it's more difficult, because if you are working, you have to prove you have to prove that your disability affects your work. And that's too many people, and I don't know everybody's excuses, but I know people that claim migraines for their disability.
Oh, really?
They have, yes. They can every month they can take up to 4 days off of work because of their migraines. A day a week because of migraines. Like, no offense. No offense. That's kind of some pretty lame shit, and you shouldn't be on disability, in my opinion.
Oh, you reading the chat?
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. What's scoliosis again?
Deformation of your spine. That's my basic knowledge of it.
Yeah. Migraines do definitely take you out.
Right, I understand that a migraine can take you out, but that is different than somebody that has no legs.
Yeah, but isn't scoliosis considered a disability?
It can be, yeah. Well, it is it can get to the disability status. Just because you have scoliosis doesn't technically mean that you're automatically disabled.
Yeah.
There's different levels of it.
And so the government determines whether it is an acceptable amount.
So it's a sliding scale.
Yeah.
It's there's a aforementioned magical number people come up. I'm sure there's some studies behind it, but there's a, you know, if I lose a toe, does that mean, like, am I disabled? I don't have a toe.
I was gonna say depression is a disability in America, isn't it?
Severe depression can be a disability. And that, you know, coming from my point of view, depression can't be a disability.
Yeah.
That's, you know, like, how
but
do you?
But that's a gut. Like, so that's look. I agree, but if we're talking about governments, right? In Australia, disability, depression is classified as a disability. Right. If you have a severe disability, severe depression, severe anxiety, because it's going to impact your way of work. It's a curved spine. I get bad back spasms. Often fall because of my back gives out. My kids have to help me lift anything cover over 5 pounds. I can't sit and stand for long periods of time. And yes, it's severe enough. Interesting.
Yeah. And that for when it comes to applying for disability, that is the hard part. If it's severe enough, it's kind of, how do you prove that?
You basically got to sell it.
Yeah, you got to sell it. And that, my problem is when you start getting into the mental disabilities, it gets kind of questionable. When you get into the depression, I can say I'm depressed any day of the damn week. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
You know, it's a little bit different if I'm having a bipolar if I'm having a bipolar or schizophrenia outbreak. That's a little bit more obvious, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really you can't really deny a schizophrenia person's schizo.
Interesting. But like, and then I don't know. It's very interesting. The whole thing is extremely interesting. There's a flood in Texas.
There's a huge flood in Texas.
Death toll 59 people, 21 being children. Holy crap. That's a lot of water.
They got, I think it was 12 inches of rain overnight is what started
Holy
this.
shit.
Like a lake.
Oh, what the fuck?
They can't come look. We've lost our cars, everything. We've lived here for 30 years, and this has never happened.
Holy shit.
So anybody, please, if you have a boat or something, I need help. I need to get my dad out of here. It's starting to smell like sewer in here.
So that flash flood, it's a 30-foot wall of water that's still going.
30 foot.
Yeah.
Damn. That's a lot of water. The measure taking as well. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, you know. Sorry to change the topic. The headline just come up for me. That's a lot of water. Is Texas on a flood table? Like under the, is Texas built under a water table or something?
No. But they have massive water systems that run through them. Through it.
That's a lot of water. Actually, this would be a question for you, Nay. Being Hispanic. So, illegal immigrants stay or no? No, they have to leave. If they're illegal. I'm curious. Damn. Holy shit, that's quick. Yeah, I'd get in my car too.
There is there's a couple of the dams that or not dams, but there's a couple spots that watch the flow of the water. There's places that got over 100,000 cubic meters per second.
Damn.
Because of that. Like that water is moving.
It's fucking crazy. They're kicking them out. Yeah, no, but the question is, if they're illegal, so if they illegally come into the country, should they stay or should they go? That's a lot. It's really sad when Putin's starting to look pretty based. Oh yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier when we were talking about Cyprus.
In the heart of the Mediterranean.
So this is currently exactly what's happening at the moment.
In the heart of the Mediterranean, a quiet transformation is unfolding. Thousands of Israelis are buying homes and land in southern Cyprus, settling in strategic areas, building communities, and raising political alarms. Cypriot politician Stefanos Stefanou warns, our country is being taken away. Zionist schools and synagogues are forming ghettos.
Εσχάτως, βλέπουμε να εξελίσσονται φαινόμενα δημιουργίας κλειστών περιοχών, γκέτο, από υπηκόους του Ισραήλ, με δημιουργία σιωνιστικών σχολείων και συναγωγών, με σαρωτικές εξαγορές σημαντικών οικονομικών μονάδων, και μεγάλων εκτάσεων γης. Την ώρα που σοβαρές εφημερίδες στο Ισραήλ μιλούν για στοχευμένη πολιτική επέκταση του Ισραήλ στην Κύπρο.
In 2023, Israeli media asked the question, is Cyprus becoming a second Israel? In just 2 decades, the Israeli population here has grown from 400 to over 12,000.
Holy shit.
With around 3,000 newcomers each year.
Damn.
After the Haifa port was damaged during clashes with Iran, Israel moved quickly. Plans were revealed to buy a Cypriot port to inspect gas-bound aid and secure Israeli imports. But this idea isn't new. Back in 1899, Zionist activist David Treach proposed Cyprus as a Jewish colony. Even Theodore Herzl saw the island as a strategic asset under.
And this guy, Theodore Herschel. Oh, this man. Where are we? Where are we? Theodore Herschel. Theodore Herschel. So he's from Hungary. He's one of the founders of the Zionist movement in 1996. This man really wanted to take over the, that's right, the Greater Israel border.
See, and when I looked up that map the other day, that's ridiculous to me.
But that's what they wanted. That's what they wanted.
Well, and that's, that's no different than anybody else saying that they don't want Israel to exist.
Yeah.
I mean,
but the real question is, right, is they don't want Israel to exist, but why? Yeah, there's the Balfour Declaration. But that's a very interesting thing. It'll be clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of the existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine. Like that statement right there.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, to be 100% frank, all of this just boils down to religious bullshittery.
Oh, 100%. I agree.
Whoever is fighting for what, at the end of the day, it boils down to it's a religious war that's been going on for a very long time.
Yeah. Hey, Fidget.
And that's,
well, it's obviously been going on for a long time. It's been going on for almost 150 years. Like, it's crazy that we can actually say that now.
I would say it's been going on for longer than that, but I would say at least 150 years.
Yeah. Everything's been good, Fidget. Everything's been good. We're discussing them boys and how much crap's going along around the world.
British rule. Today,
I just want to know what's in Israel. Like, what's there?
A vision.
What's there? So what do you want to know?
What's worth
extending far beyond
the temple?
Why? Well, is that the only thing?
Yeah. Yeah, the world. This is the only thing they want. The only thing they want.
So what's in it?
No, it's not what's in it, right? It's what it's significant for. So
see, I can't fathom fighting over something that's just of a.
It should have had a V8. That's funny. All right, so this is what they want.
The third temple in Jerusalem.
Yeah, this is yeah. the plans for
Planning and
the
Building
third
Committee for
temple.
approval. This last day's prophecy and how it's a sign of the times. It's
So this
true,
is
the
why it's
architectural
important.
plans
He says it at the start.
the third temple in Jerusalem are complete and ready for submission to the Jerusalem Planning and Building Committee for approval. There are some people who may make bad assumptions about which organization is doing this, which I will get into later in this video. But before we get into the details, let's talk about the history, this last day's prophecy, and how it's a sign of the times and what it means. This
Hey, Mr. Rich Boy.
37-acre piece of property is widely
So this is all
considered
supposed to be
most
the
hotly
temple.
contested piece of land on the planet when it comes to the intersection of religion.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. I hope you're having an amazing Sunday too.
Religion, geopolitics, and history. Jews, Muslims, and Christians all
So,
have their
where
sacred
are we?
scriptures state that this land was given to Abraham, the progenitor of all three. of
Yeah,
these
so the
religions.
land was given
That
to Abraham. So that's going to be the third temple site. That's the plans for the third temple. So the third temple is supposed to take up this whole section. So they've already got it boundaried to where they want the third temple to be. And then once it's built, that's when they bring in the red heifers. And then that's supposed to start Armageddon. And then, so that's why it's such an important plot of land. And then that's why also Americans want it to happen. Well, the Catholic Society want it to happen as well. So the gospel, this is basically Christianity, the gospel. Why they want it to happen is because once it happens, it starts Armageddon, according to them. But yeah, Johnny Harris, he did a really good. This video is really, really good about the Middle East, install the Middle East. I might watch it another day. I'll watch it again with everybody. But there's also propaganda and co. So Propaganda and Co. So these guys, they did a video. I wonder if it's been taken down. Oh, they've been doing a lot of live streams. Went to Iran before the war, sanctions. So Trump lifts serious sanctions. So basically this all happened. So this all happened before the Iranian attacks. But this is why Syria did helped, because Trump lifted the Syria sanctions. AMT. And then also Trump visiting Qatar was like everything was part of it. So that whole Middle East conference that Trump went over there, accepted the plane and all that sort of stuff was all basically just bribery, right? And these are some really good videos when they explain, they talk about why and how it all started and the significance about Israel. But Bashar Assad was also very important. But yeah, so the Israel propaganda debunked. This is the full doco about how, like, the Bibi files. Have you heard of the Bibi files?
I have not.
So the Bibi files is basically the case on Benjamin Netanyahu, on how he is a full documentary, the Bibi files. And it's basically how he's charged. Like the man was going to jail before the war, before October 7th. It's a shame. I gotta find the movie, the BB. Oh yeah, so someone's already got the upload of the BB files. But so basically there's a lot of stuff that Benjamin Netanyahu done. So he's like on the extreme side of right wing. Like, so he's like, he's considered like extreme, and then there's also a more extreme side of the Zionist movement. But all these people, Benjamin Netanyahu, that's not even his real name. Like Netanyahu, like all these names that all these leaders had, like, aren't even their real names. The prime ministers of Israel, none of them were even born in Israel. Every single one was born outside of Israel. So I think the biggest thing that the media is trying to push is that Israel deserves to be there, right? And Israel's good, Palestinians are bad. What they don't understand is that no one in Israel can trace their roots back to Israel. Every single Palestinian person can trace their roots back to Palestine. So,
Right.
and
Well,
then
that's
that's why they're classified as ethnic cleansing, because they're getting rid of the ethnic group, and then that's why they're stuck there. And then that just goes back to the Cookie Monster event. So if all these lies have been pumping into you, saying this and this and this, and then you have the Cookie Monster event, right? Like, how long does it take to cook 6 million cookies? A really long fucking time. Like, a long, long time. And the ovens didn't hold 6 million cookies. And when there's bakers that come out, or cookies that come out and say that the number's been exaggerated, what do you believe? Do you believe the Cookie Monster, or do you believe the cookies that escaped? Like, that's the interesting thing.
Well, I mean, it would be nice to see, and this is where it would be nice to have direct access to the information for
The Cookie Monster
you know,
event?
well, what the population was, and
Yeah,
and who,
but they burnt all that.
right.
All that's gone.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I say it would be nice to have. But well, it's not. It's multiple countries got rid of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, so it's hard. It's hard to say.
I love it. This was planned. Like, this video came out a year ago. Iran versus Israel. That's crazy.
Well, let's be honest. If it wasn't Iran and Israel, it would have been China and Taiwan.
Yeah, true. That's very, very true.
If we can't keep the religious war going, let's keep the tech war going.
True.
We'll get what we want out of the Middle East one way or another.
But it's just interesting. Like, it's very, very interesting.
Well, the part that gets me is I don't think anybody in the world wants this crap going on.
No,
But
look,
why we
100%.
vote? Like, we're literally just voting for one of two sides.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, no, guys, no one wants this to happen, but we're just gonna go ahead and say this person's right, and we're gonna give them everything we can.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
But I'm like that in life, though. You know, if I see two people fighting, I'm gonna step back and let them go. I ain't gonna toss somebody a stick. You know,
True.
like, oh, you guys having a fist fight and a hatchet magically showed up somewhere. Like, that's kind of fucked
Yeah.
up.
True. It's very interesting. Very
But
interesting.
if the religious stuff ends up being real, fuck it. Why, let whatever happens happen. You get what I'm saying? Like,
I somewhat agree and disagree, but like I can appreciate the opinion. I can see where you're coming from, but the argument would be if there's something bad happening, you're not going to be like, oh yeah, this is the right way to do it. Like, we're going to let this happen. Doesn't particularly work that way.
I completely get that.
Yeah. Like let's be fair.
You know.
But it's just interesting. Like the whole thing in the Middle East, everything. It's all like really, really interesting. But it's like there's a lot of money getting moved around. And then the real question is, if there is a lot of money that's getting moved around, who benefits with all this money that's getting moved around? Like, that's what it comes down to. Huh?
No,
that's funny.
Nobody.
But yeah, nobody.
The problem is nobody really cares about that money. Only the people that have it.
Yeah.
Like, you and I don't care. Collectively, nobody in either one of our countries really care. Like, we're gonna keep living life. Shit may be thrown at us, but we're gonna try to keep living life the same as we are.
Yeah.
Like, if that $1 billion or $1 trillion moves from one country to another, it's just, it's some rich fuck to another rich fuck.
Yeah. True.
We're still going to be on the struggle bus every day. We just don't want the struggle bus to be bombs and bullets. That's
crazy. Like, it's just really sad. Really, really, really sad. Oh, this is crazy, the amount of shit that's coming out. What? Early in World War II, when Hitler was still refusing to retaliate in kind of British bombings of German civilian targets, you had the Luftwaffe drop leaflets calling for peace into British cities. Churchill had teams on the streets, on street sweepers on standby to clean them up before anyone saw them. And the public was warned about being found in possession of them. Even if you think the call for peace was pure deception, people have the right to hear the other side when deliberating over peace or war. Why not trust yourself and the people to fuss facts from fiction? Make informed decisions. It is very telling that every time the government wants to kill us or die for it, extreme measures are taken to ensure that we never hear the other side's perspective. Don't be afraid. Be an adult. Be responsible citizens. Hear them out and then decide. But it's very, very true. Is any spaces down at the moment now? What?
it's really hard to hear the other person's side when you don't have access to it. Like that's you know, pretty in your face.
Yeah.
But that's what we do. It's just like how he got shit for going and interviewing Putin. Like, okay, well, no one else has interviewed the fucker in 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, and all the dude did you watch that? I'm assuming you watched that interview.
Which one?
The Tucker Carlson, Tucker and Putin.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That was such a
All
good
he did was
interview.
give us, he gave us a fucking history breakdown and was just, and some other
Yeah.
relative information, and that was about it.
That's it. It was an interview about why he's doing why he is how he is.
Like, hey guys, and here's all the facts. Like, here's a whole folder of what I said. Thanks. Have a good day. You know, like here's my
Hey,
proof.
Decree. Yeah. This is funny.
We've ever lived. For the Jews do not feel safe today. We are a people that has been kicked out of every place we've ever lived for 2,000 years. Every single place.
Yeah, but why? That's the real question. Why have you been kicked out? Oh yeah, that's crazy. Them filling the skate parks up during COVID, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Damn, I forgot that even happened.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Wow.
You want to jump down some? You want to jump down some conspiracy rabbit holes?
Yeah, man.
Dude, all like the flooding. It's been popping up in our news a little bit lately about like towns and stuff that are under lakes.
Yeah.
People don't realize like how many dams we've built that have just like we did it to Native Americans. Like that's pretty well known. But it's still happening today. Like we're still flooding cities and towns.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's crazy. So like, so there's also a town in Victoria, so where I live, Victoria, Australia, that's under a lake currently.
How old's the lake?
Oh, Lake Eildon. Age. 1956.
50s.
Why?
That's just wondering if you guys did the same thing that we did.
So the where is it? Where is it? What town is underneath Lake Eildon? So Darlingford is so it was the Sugarloaf Reservoir flooded. During it flooded the area during 1920s. And now it's submerged, and then the original dam was built in the area. So Lake Eildon. So that was the dam they built. And when I went on holidays in December, we stayed at Lake Eildon on a houseboat. And sections of the lake, you can on the radar, you can still see the tops of like the buildings that were there.
See, and that's it. So it makes you wonder, like we in our country have
Mm.
we have openly admitted that we have flooded like Native Americans and minority groups um in the 20s and the 50s.
Yeah.
And like look like when you go to research it today, like there's finally stuff that you can find on them, but most of the time like we did the shit on purpose. We wanted their resources, or they refused to move.
Yeah.
And then
Testing
next
one,
they're
two.
like, oh well, a storm happened and the place flooded. We built a dam, and it's like, is that's what was put in the news, but that didn't. That's not what happened. And I'm
Yeah.
wondering if you guys like if you dig deep enough into like what was going on in that town in the 20s, if something else would pop up like it does with some of our cities.
Uh, um, it was established in
Oh, the gold
1860.
rush.
Yeah, it was during the gold rush.
See, and that I'm man, I'm just saying there's a lot of correlations
Yeah,
already.
Darlington was established in 1860 after the gold was discovered in the area. The town was flooded in 1920 when Sugarloaf Reservoir was built. It was apparently built to provide water, irrigation, and power generation. The Eildon Township, the current town of Eildon, was established to house the workers and families during the construction of the dam. Some remnants of Darlington, like Darlingford Hotel and the Darlingford Waterboat Club, can still be seen when the water level of Lake Eildon drops. But yeah, what's the conspiracy about it though? During the gold rush?
Ours, a lot of our towns were like after like the mines were stripped or whatever, and then the people would come in and they wouldn't sell out.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't sell the land, or they wouldn't move, or the people that worked the land refused to leave, so they would just flood them.
Ah. That's actually a very interesting conspiracy.
So it's for us, it's not a conspiracy. We did it to black communities.
Yeah.
Like 100%. We don't we don't deny it. Like that's shit comes out. Like it was hidden for a couple of years, and then people start finding stuff and asking questions, and it comes out. But yeah, our government admits that they did it. We did it with Native Americans too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the water level's only at 57.57%.
Damn.
Yeah. What was it when we went over there? December.
Well, see, it's been. Do you guys have a certain number of years where families can come back and claim land after natural disasters? Or like after being removed for whatever reason?
I don't think so. Okay, so when I went over to Lake Eildon, it was at 85%. So the water level will be very, very low. That'd be very interesting to go visit it now. 57%. You might even be able to see the tops of the houses.
Break that dam and see what else pops up.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, and well, what what so something to think of in the future. If you look at the routes that come off that dam, what areas are no longer in a flood zone because that dam was built. So basically, if that dam fails, what towns would get demolished?
Yeah, true. So there's a lot of national parks here. So that's the really interesting thing. So Lake Eildon's got a lot of national parks. So we stayed at Jerusalem Creek. Well, that's where we went to park, and then we went down here. And we like stayed in a few of these coves. But it's also very windy. But look, Eildon wouldn't be there. Taylor Bay. So where's the dam? The dam is over here. Where's the dam? Bonnie Doon. Where is the dam? Is it here? I'm just trying to get my bearings. Now, let me just turn into satellite mode. So we stayed at Jerusalem. Oh yeah, so it's up here. So there's a dam. That's the bridge. That's not the dam. Where's the dam? That's the real question. The Eildon Dam. So that's the town of Eildon. Where the hell's the dam? This is a very interesting, like extremely interesting, yeah, like,
Oh yeah, because it's man-made. Somebody just dammed up a canyon.
Yeah. But like, where did the water come from? I'm just trying to work out where the water come from.
So what's the elevation of that area? More than likely that area is fed by rain runoff, and all they've done was dam it up to retain it. Which would make sense if there was a town underneath it and it rained real heavy.
It's only
It flooded, and then
230. Yeah, that might be a better map. Yeah, it's only 230 height wise. Facility map, there we are. This might be up
dam?
here. Yeah, so the
The dam
dam
is 230 meters.
Yes, well, the surface elevation is 230 meters. So hold on. Darlington elevation.
Yeah.
So 30.
That's a lot of water being held back.
Yeah, it's 100. The average elevation is 154, but Darlington ranges from 30 to 297 meters above sea level. The Darlington covers 1,191 hectares. The elevation map using NASA's 90-meter resolution SRTM data shows topography and contours of Darlington. And that picture doesn't even bother there. Topography map, there we are. So, oh, that's England. So Darlington, Hamilton Highway, 70 kilometers west of Melbourne, Emu Creek flows. Yeah, so 153 meters. Yeah, so 153 meters. Warrnambool. Hold on, where am I going? This is a fucking retarded. So over here. So Kingslake, Hillsville. There we are. Kingslake. Whittlesea, Marysville, Eldon. There we are. That's Eildon right there. Lake Eildon National Park. So that's it right there. So 167 with topography that goes up to some parts 1,000 meters. So that's Eildon right there. I'll put it in the center. So this is all the alpine, like this is all snow, the snowfields. So Victoria snowfields is just around here. So this is all the alpine region of Victoria. So it's near the rain, like near the snow. I guess maybe that's another reason why the water levels are so low at the moment. Because it's snowing. So when it melts, it'll go up higher. But yeah, New Eildon National Park. So that's the lake there.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that dam probably blocks all of Eildon.
Yeah, so there's
Eldon,
a dam
wherever it
here
is.
by the looks of it. Yeah, there's be a dam here and there's a dam up here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's it. There's a dam right there. So that's the Eildon Dam.
Yeah, see, like, so why would you build yourself on the backside of a dam when that dam is holding back what at minimum 150 meters of water?
Yeah. That's true.
But like if you follow that down, I bet you there's all sorts of other towns and cities that are in that would be naturally in that waterway that would, because that normally would have been a river. If that wasn't a lake, it would have been a
Yeah.
river.
Oh yeah, it's the big
And-
what's it? It's
and-
called the Eildon Jamison Road. Yeah, the Big River Heritage River.
Yeah. Imagine what would happen if that, I don't know how much water per se would or how much that river would rise because that if that dam wasn't there. But I bet you'd be 20, 30 foot deeper. Like,
So it would fluctuate widely. Without the dam, the Goulburn River would behave more like a natural floodplain, experiencing significant season fluctuation. Water levels during the period of heavy rain, the river will likely overflow its banks and more frequently greater depths, potentially inundating areas currently protected by the dam. Drought vulnerability conservatively during the dry spells, the river would likely experience much lower water spells, potentially impacting water supply and local ecosystems and relying on consistent flow. There's no storage capacity. The dam currently stores a vast amount of water, acting as a buffer between both floods and droughts. Without this storage, the area would be far more susceptible to extreme and natural water cycle impacts on recreational, blah, blah, blah. So when we stayed there, yeah, so there's a lot. So there we are. There's a lot of water there. Like even at the low capacity. So even at where it is right now, it's still 245 million liters. So what's that? If you wanted an ounce, 2.5 million
gallons.
You want gallons?
Yeah.
You're looking at 600,000.
Yeah. By the way, that flood that's in Texas,
Yeah.
it would have taken them 6 hours to dump out that lake.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how much that water is flowing right now. Like
That's
it's
crazy.
ridiculous. So I mean, when
There
you
we
think
are.
about it, if that dam were to fail, like I mean, obviously, you would get your droughts because it's no longer, a consistent feed from a lake.
Yeah.
But how many towns are built below where they know the banks of that river would be if that dam
Oh,
wasn't
a
there?
lot of those towns now. But in saying
Right,
that,
they
some of
couldn't
these
have-
spots are pretty high up as well. So, there's a lot of houses. So these are all houses. So Taylor's Bay, they literally just built the houses on the bay because they wanted
Yeah,
bay
and
access.
see that's not a problem though, because if the water starts rising, they can open the dam and drain the lake
Yeah.
and save those houses. Because normally, if that dam wasn't there, those houses would be, 100 meters above the water.
Yeah.
Or like up to 100 meters.
Yeah. But if we're going back down here, like it's just
All
very
that stuff would
interesting
be-
how all this would be gone.
See, I almost bet if you look down where that power station is, I almost bet you that the natural runoff is all the way up to that tree line. If it wasn't for the dam.
Yeah, it'd be around there. That's a lot of water.
That's a lot of houses that were built where houses never should have been built.
Yeah, there we are. Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see what happens if they did that. Like,
See, and this is the conspiracy that I think that the last hurricane that came through and hit the East Coast, there's a couple towns over there that have been fighting over I think it was cobalt mines.
yeah,
And they've been trying to get bought out by a company. Well,
yeah,
that company now has free access to all the lands because it's still underwater.
oh wow,
Yeah. All of those dams broke. Coincidence, like, is it coincidence or did it
Coincidentally,
happen
yeah.
in the hurricane?
yeah,
And then all of that land is now underwater. And if they let it sit Oh, I think if they let it sit for 5 or 10 years, um, it no longer is. You can't go back and claim it, and then all they have to do is go back and turn that dam back on, and then boop, we got our land for free.
Yeah.
Well, not for free. They had to build a dam, but
Yeah, that's interesting. It's very, very interesting. All of it, like, it's all very, very. All very, very interesting.
it makes you, it makes you, it makes you wonder. My entire city. Well, not my entire city, but most of my city is
Yeah.
built in a floodplain. But we're no longer considered a floodplain because we built a dam back in the 60s. If we get too much rain or if that dam were to break, we would be, anytime that it rains, we would be like 3 or 4 feet underwater
Oh, really?
every time. Yeah. And most people in my city have no idea. Like some of the older people, like I'm talking like 60 plus older,
Yeah.
they know that they know like the outskirts of town always flooded because they were, they were alive when that dam was built. So they remember the floods.
Yeah.
But they don't remember that we had smaller dams that were built before then that had kept our downtown from flooding. And our downtown we have a major river system that runs through it.
Ah.
But yeah, nobody knows that. Like, it wouldn't take. I say it wouldn't take a lot, but like if we had a dam failure, and we had. I mean, it's happened before. We've had like 20 inches of rain dumped in a month, and it
Yeah.
overflowed the river banks. And we had that river. The river bank was up. It's like 30 feet before it breaks the bank, and then we had another 5 or 6 feet of water above that. Like it flooded. It flooded all of our downtown.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing, like, if we didn't have that dam, we would have been, like, it literally would have probably wiped us off the fucking map. Like, the dam's the only thing that kept us from being, probably 10 or 15 feet underwater.
Yeah.
But it diverted everything to the river, and the river overflowed. Like,
it's fucking hilarious. All right. I will chill with you for a little bit. I'm gonna get some food, but I'm gonna write out.
Oh yeah. Well, one of my buddies is gonna stop by probably here in like 10 minutes. So
that's perfect. No,
yes, it
that's
is.
all good. All right. All right. Easy. Well, I am. All right. Well, I'll let you go. I'll say goodbye and then
Yep.
I'll write out.
All right. Have a good
But
one.
No worries. I'll talk to you probably later tonight.
Yep. All right. I'll be around.
All right. Catch you.
See you.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for chilling with me tonight. I do appreciate it. Thank you for wherever you are. Thank you for everyone popping in. I do appreciate you all. We're trying to make these more regular again. Get back into the swing of things. We're gonna raid out. We're gonna go see. No idea who. But we'll go see somebody. We'll come and say hello to another fellow Aussie who's currently playing some Black Ops. So we're gonna go send him some love. I do appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. And yeah, we'll see you all next time. Much love. See ya.